Good morning, although it's good night. It'll be good morning in about, good morning. I thought it was, I'm looking at the timestamp on the screenshot. Okay, enough blathering. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Dymo. How to get out of Babylon. And among other things I want to deal with, I'm going to get back to the idea of Pentecost, giving of the law, starting to do some teaching. And I'll just make the announcement now. This coming month, starting with this coming 7th day, which is whatever, 8th day to me, is Sabbath. So I have a conference number set up. I have not actually exercised it, tried it. I mean, it works. So I'm going to send out emails to people. I will do a preparatory video Friday, and hopefully the next day have some kind of a Shabbat teaching and meeting. So I can give out my phone number. You can send me questions. We can converse. If I can figure out how to go live streaming, I'm not sure that would work good, but we can try that. But the conference thing, these free conference things are supposed to work via internet too. Like you could sit down, we could screen share. You can see what I see, just like I'm doing these videos, recorded videos with DU Record Master. So, all right. So in the interim, just a few little things banging around in my feeble little brain. One of them is I ran across a debate here, and it wasn't really I didn't listen to the whole thing, but what I heard of it was just exchanges between the two top guys there. And it's just, I'll just read my statement about my summary of what I heard. I listened to that part. I don't know to what depths of sadness and depravity we're going to descend to. If you look on the right there, I mean, just because there's really nothing has been happening. It's been a big mess. Rob Skiba and Zachary Bauer debate, that's a very old. You can listen to that. But I mean, Rob Skiba just basically had a bonfire, and Zach Bauer was the marshmallow. Yes, Zach Bauer is a sacred naming, Torah toting, but so is Rob Skiba. Zach Bauer has a lot of followers, but he was completely unprepared, had nothing worthwhile to say. Rob Skiba has been supposedly, allegedly challenged to a debate with Robert Sungenis and Kent Hovind. He's like, are you kidding me? I have better things to do with my time. He's done several hundred videos on this subject, and, go listen to his videos, because when someone starts talking about it and they say, well, what about this and what about that, and they display their complete lack of grasp of the subject, knowledge about the subject, they just slather you with their ignorance. Why should he debate anybody like that? So he basically said, you guys have a debate on, does the Bible teach heliocentricity or geocentricity, and I'll debate the winner. And he said, hey, by the way, Ken Hovind, if you don't learn something between now and the time you debate Robert Sungenis, you're the loser. Even if you do study and spend hours and hours and days and weeks preparing for it, you'll still be the loser. So anyway, so just to back up a little bit, for those of you who don't know, the two bottom guys here, I don't even know. I don't recognize them. Steve McRae and the guy in the bottom left there is the moderator. So skip that one. Allegedly Dave, top right, is a British flat earth guy, civilian, not a scientist, not a theologian, not a biblical scholar. So how he ended up debating Robert Sungenis, who is I'm sure, Jesuit-trained scholar par excellence on both theology and Bible, Catholic, got to reiterate that, supposed Christian theologian, supposed biblical scholar. How allegedly Dave, some bloke, he says, I'm just a bloke, with that nice, crisp British accent, ended up debating him. I don't know. So, anyway, so my take on it was as follows. I'll just go into that because that's about enough of introduction. Oh, by the way, online, I think you can watch a lot of it, or maybe the whole thing, but there's a documentary called The Principle. If you're not familiar with it, look it up. Robert Sungenis was the driving force behind that. And it is a geocentricity-based documentary. Took a lot of flack for it because supposedly all of these theologians and all these astronomers and all these physicists that they interviewed for it, none of them knew that it was going to be on geocentricity. Are you kidding me? Whatever. I mean, it's just one of the most absurd things that's ever happened. And all they did was quote them. They asked questions and they let them speak their mind, and they didn't quote anybody out of context. They didn't try to lead anybody. But I guess suddenly geocentricity was introduced to it. They didn't know who Robert Sungenis was. It's just one of the stupidest things that I've ever run across on the internet and in history and in theology and scripture. Just a really bizarre exchange of stupidity. So, it's a good documentary. Robert Sungenis, being the Catholic theologian, Catholic Bible scholar that he is, dyed in the wool, but he's a geocentrist. Okay, he is geocentric in his presentation and his outlook, but he is also, I don't get this, he also believes that the Earth is a globe and it's spinning through space aimlessly, and that it's a speck of dust in the universe, and man is nothing, and yeah, okay, so anyway, not going to draw this one out. In fact, I might just cut this and do part 2 on the rest of my thing. Yeah, I'll do that. So that's going to be part 1. I'll do part 2 with the text that I wrote.